there, and welcome back to my channel, or if this is the first video of mine you are seeing, then welcome. So I've seen this video idea floating around here on YouTube. I've watched multiple creators do this, except one big difference is they are doing only 15 makeup items. I'm bumping mine up to 20 if I can only keep 20 makeup products. These are the ones I would keep. The only reason why it's 20 and not 15 is there was one category right here that I absolutely refused to budge on. I wanted all of the shades that I have. You will see what I mean when we get to that category at the end, but I refused to budge on that, so I bumped it up to 20. I feel like 20 is still a good amount, especially if you have some multiple shades that you really do like. So if you want to see what 20 products that I would keep, let's go ahead and get started. Alright, I'm going to zoom you in just a little bit because we're going to start out with primer. Now, this shade is not the shade that I would want. This is the Say Glowy Super Gel, but this one is in the Rose Glow shade. Now, for me, I would want the Star Glow shade, but I am currently out of that because I used it. I use that product a lot. So I am going to be using the Rose Glow, and it looks something like this. This is a little bit too deep for me, but once I put the foundation on, it won't be so bad. The foundation will definitely go over the top of it and you won't notice it because this shade is a little bit too deep for me. Also, my face turns a little bit red. If you're new, my face does turn a little bit red when I rub products like this in. It will definitely go away in just a second. I just have pretty sensitive skin. And you know, if I went down my neck with it too, honestly, it would just look like it would give me like a little bit of almost like a tan, just a touch. But this isn't the shade I would want. Star Glow is my favorite shade. I've gone through several of the mini sizes of that shade, as well as a deluxe sample size. I love the Star Glow shade. This is like my favorite primer of all time. This would definitely be one primer that I would want in my collection because it is really beautiful. It gives you such a beautiful glow to the skin, so I really do like this one. And while I'm letting my primer sit, I'm going to go on to eyeshadow palette. This is definitely, should be no surprise to you if you do watch my channel a lot. The Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I love this palette so very much. I do have pan in one of the shades. It's wanting to reflect. There we go. Turn it that way. I do have pan, and I'm working on getting pan in this shade right here. I love this palette so very much. I know it's probably hard to see, but this palette is so dirty because I use it all the time. It is my favorite eyeshadow palette. But I'm going to take a Flawless Concealer brush from e.l.f., which is just this really large fluffy brush, and I am going to go in with the shade Fair. One thing that I also love about this eyeshadow palette is that it does have shades in it that I can use for blush as well as bronzer. And all you have to do is just pop the pans out of the back here, and I have absolutely used this palette that way. There's also a shade in here that is perfect for my brows. Like, I can use it in my brows too, and I have absolutely used it that way. I love this palette so very much. I don't know if a palette would ever come along that I would love the way I love this one. Now, I'm putting this down as just like a good base. We're going to start with it first. This does have a touch of pigment to it. Like, it's a little bit darker than my skin tone, maybe like a shade darker. So I love going in with this shade first. You probably won't be able to hear it, but it is really rainy here today. There's also some slight thunder. You probably won't be able to pick that up on because my microphone is just, it's not that powerful. Now that I have that down, I'm going to switch over to a Sigma E24, and I'm going to go into the shade Mesh, and I'm going to run that into my crease. This is the next shade that I'm really trying to hit pan on because I do have a pretty good dent in the pan. But it took me a long time to hit pan in the shade Fair. It took me a while. So I don't expect to do that so soon with this shade, but I'm hoping that eventually I can. This is just my most favorite palette ever. You know, if there are some products that you cannot be without that you would pick, definitely please feel free to let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your favorite products, makeup that you know that you would keep if you had to pare down to like a very smaller collection, a more curated collection. I would love to hear some of your favorites. See, this palette is just easy. It's so easy. I know there's a brand that has a dupe for this palette out, Alter Ego, I believe. So if you were not wanting to pay for the Natasha Denona, like the $69 or $70 price point, that brand does have a dupe palette for this one. I've never tried that brand before, but I know that I watch a lot of creators who really talk about that brand, so I'm not sure of the quality. But now, to me, I would rather have this one, the original, because I just love this palette so very much. On that same brush, I'm going in with the shade Vague. I'm going to be honest, I did not plan an eye look or anything. I just sat down and started filming, so I have no idea what kind of eye look I'm doing. Just kind of swirling that on this outer half and then kind of running it into the crease as well. I feel like I don't really use Vague and Wit a lot like I do some of the other tones, so I'm trying to get some good use out of them as well in this palette because I just love this palette so much. I feel like this is such an easy palette to work with. Like, I don't struggle whatsoever with blending this out. Okay, then I'm going to take the shade Mia, place that right here on this beginning portion of my lid. It's such a pretty shade. Look at that, it's so pretty. And because it does have that slight pinkiness to it, I feel like it matches the pink in my sweater. I'm gonna do the same thing on this eye. Just place that shade down using my finger. You can use a brush too, of course. And just have these shorter press-ons this week, so I figured it'd be easier to do it this way. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do my under eye area, and the next product that I would definitely need is my Cali Ray Hideaway Brightening Hydrating Under Eye Serum Concealer. This one is in the shade Pale Sun. This is technically a corrector, but this shade is absolutely perfect on its own for me with my skin tone. I don't have to put another concealer over the top of it. It just blends in so beautifully, so effortlessly. I love this stuff so very much, so there is no doubt that this would be in my collection at all times, no matter the size. Whether I had a small collection, a large collection, I would have this somewhere. It just blends so easily, and I feel like they have a really good shade range considering that it's a corrector, because I feel like a lot of correctors don't have a lot of shades. They have like usually 3, 4. I think this has like 8 shades. And I just love it so much. Alright, next I'm going to take this Sigma E54, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dip once into Vague, Fair, and Mesh. And then run that on my lower lash line. Just to make sure the tones are matching from the lid, or crease I should say. And on that same brush I'm going to take more of the shade Mia, and we're going to put some of that on this inner corner as well. To add even more pretty sparkle. The one mascara that I would definitely have in my collection, the Refy Lash Sculpt. This is the best mascara I have ever used. It's the one that has this type of wand on it. It is incredible. I have never found a mascara that holds my curl the way this one does, because it is a quick drying mascara, so I feel like once you curl your lashes and you get them into place, they hold beautifully. So I'm just going to quickly curl my lashes right quick, or I'm going to curl this side anyway, and I'm going to show you this on one eye, and then I'll go off camera right quick and finish the other eye. But I love this mascara so very much. It's expensive. It's like $26, $27, but honestly I love it so much. It's my favorite. And especially after giving up false eyelashes, this one just This one does everything. It is a little bit of a learning curve with this one, and I still absolutely do sometimes poke my lid, but once it dries, you can quickly remove that. So let me make sure I'm in frame here, and we're gonna apply it. I'm sorry, I know this looks weird. Do a couple of pass-throughs just to make sure all the lashes are coated. And look at that. This is the best mascara. There you go, look at that. Are we kidding? Because my lashes are not the greatest of all time, and this mascara makes them something. I'm just going to quickly do my other eye off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, there is one coat, both sides. I mean, no other mascara makes my lashes look like that. No other. So good. It's like the best mascara. Alright, I'm going to back you up a little bit here because we're going to go in with foundation. Before I get in with foundation, there is one product that I want to talk about first, and that is setting spray, because I love to spray my sponge before I go in with my foundation. So, my favorite is this right here from Charlotte Tilbury. I have to have this in my collection. This is the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I'm actually, if you can see, can you see? I only have that much left. But I do have a pack with 2 minis over there that was like a little holiday set, so I am going to be replacing this probably actually after today if I'm able to get enough out of here. And I'm just going to spray my sponge with this. Yeah, honestly, that might be just about it now. I might have to open up my new one, so honestly, you can say that I got an empty with you right here on camera. I love this setting spray. It's so good. Okay, foundation. I love this foundation. This is probably one of the best products that I've tried this year. This is the Patrick Ta Major Skin Hydra Luxe Luminous Skin Perfecting Foundation. Mine is in the shade 4 Golden. I love this foundation so, so much. It is so beautiful. Okay, I'm just going to take one pump on the back of my hand, and I'm going to spread that like that. Pick it up with my sponge. I don't wear a lot of this, but you can build this up for sure if you want more coverage. I'm a light coverage kind of person, and that's one of the reasons why I picked this foundation, because I knew it was more versatile and that I can get the type of coverage that I want. If I want more of a light coverage, like what I'm going in with here, and just use one pump, or if I want to use more, if I want like more fuller coverage, or medium coverage I should say, just go in with 2 pumps, and it's just, it's so beautiful. It's so glowy. It's like one of the best products I've tried this year. I mean, you can just see how it lays really nicely over my skin. It doesn't do anything weird. It doesn't interact weirdly with my Say Glowy Super Gel, which is important, or my sunscreen. It just looks so pretty. Alright, before I go in with any face powder, I do have a liquid product here. I'm surprised at this because if you've seen some of my videos in the past, you know that I absolutely rave about the Say bronzer, the cream bronzer that's in the little pot, and I still love that one so very much. I would still 100% recommend that one to you, but this next product that I'm about to mention, I love this. This is the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Bronzing and Shaping Serum, and mine's in the shade Fair. This is in my everyday makeup drawer for the month of December, and I have been loving wearing this every single day. And what I like is you do have a pump on it, so you can mix it in with products, but then you also have a doe foot applicator, so it's like you get the best of both worlds here. And I'm just going to dot some of this. Now, I will say that the little applicator doesn't pick up too much product, so I do have to kind of go back in a couple of times. That doesn't bother me. I'm totally fine with that. But it blends out so effortlessly, because you see that, and I'm going to take the bottom of my sponge. I mean, look at it. Look, it just effortless. It is so beautiful. I have just fallen in love with it this month. I'm so happy that I put it in my everyday makeup drawer. I believe it's also a new product for this year, and it is beautiful. I love it so much, and it just blends out, and you can see it just gives you that really beautiful subtle bronze, at least this shade. I love it so much. Now you could also use the pump. I don't have to be doing this and go back in with as many times. I could just use the pump if I want, but I just like doing it like this. But I like that the pump is available, so you can mix it in with some products. Like you can mix it in with your foundation or whatever product maybe you need to mix it into. Moisturizer, like if you just want to add it into a moisturizer and just kind of give yourself a little bit of a overall slight tan, then it does do that as well. But I mean, it just blends out effortlessly. It is so beautiful. I love it. Alright, next up is powder, because the blush I'm going in with is a powder, so I'm going to go ahead and set my face. I have two here. I wanted a loose and a pressed setting powder because I like having both, and these two are my favorites in both categories. First up, in the loose, we got the One Size. This is the Ultimate Setting Powder. This one is in the Ultra Peach shade. I love this powder so much. I just think this is one of the best loose setting powders that I've ever tried, and I actually like this shade, but I have used the translucent, and more than likely I would probably go back to the translucent in the future just because I just like a good translucent powder. But this Ultra Peach, ooh, I don't want it to fall out. I'm hoping you can see it in there. It looks so beautiful. And I'm just going to take this really large brush from e.l.f. Now, it used to be called the 101. I think they gave these brushes names now. You can still buy this brush. I'm not sure what the name is now, but I will have everything listed and linked for you below, of course. I'm just going to be picking up that powder all up in this brush. And we're just going to lightly press that around the face. I do have a pressed powder that I'm going to go in more on the T-zone area, but I just want to get this powder down just to kind of lightly set everywhere, well, everywhere else. I love a good brush like this because it just packs it just everywhere and just very lightly. So you can still see some of my glow, but you just feel a little more set for the day. Okay, and for my T-zone, I'm going in with the Tower 28 Get Set Translucent Setting Powder. I love this powder. It is so good. I'm going to take that on my e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush, and we're going to set right in here with this one. This is such a good powder as well. It looks so beautiful on the skin. I will say one thing. If I was someone that was not into makeup like the way I am, that I didn't basically collect it almost, if you will, and I was just like an everyday makeup consumer, I probably would really only have Tower 28 in my collection. I of course wanted to pick a variety of products for this video because I mean that'd probably be boring me just talking about this one brand, but I do love this brand. This is like my favorite makeup brand, and I would more than likely have a full face of their products and I'd be happy. The only thing I would have to add would be my eyeshadow palette because Tower 28 doesn't have eyeshadow. And they don't have brow products either, so I would add in my brow products. But other than that, I would just be using this brand. I love their brand. So just know that going forward. But now, I always, in my description, I do have a link right before I have the individual product links. I have a link where you can shop all of my favorites in one place. If you want to look on there and just see what my favorites are, you will see some products there as well. That's always listed in the description box. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and do my brows right quick. Since I've already set with powder, I can go ahead and do that. My number one brow product ever, this Kosas. This is the Brow Pop Dual Action Defining Pencil, and mine is in the shade dark brown. I love this pencil. I have absolutely gotten an empty on this before, and I repurchased it immediately because I wanted it back in my collection. And I have mentioned several times here on my channel that once I can use up some of my other brow products, this would honestly be the only brow pencil I'd want in my collection. I don't need anything else. And this shade is a perfect match for me. So I'm just going to fill in my brow. It's just so perfect. It's the perfect shade. It's everything I could ever want in a brow pencil. I don't need anything else. You can see it's the perfect shade. I feel like it gives me my best brows every time. It's just my favorite. Now for brow gel. It is still going strong. My little Kosas Air Brow Gel. This is a little mini that come in a birthday gift from Sephora, and it is still going. I am still using it. I've been using it for months, and it's still going. But I have absolutely purchased the full size of this brow gel because I love it so much. And this is the only brow gel that I would really want my collection to because it's just that good. It's really good. I like it because, well, it holds my brows into place, but it doesn't laminate them. Like, I'm not too into that look on myself anymore. I used to be. I used to love doing that to my brows, but that's really, to me, that takes a lot longer than doing this because a lot of my brow hairs are really, really long, so it's a lot more upkeep to make sure that my brows are constantly trimmed and everything to do that kind of, pushing them up. So I definitely like something like this better because it's just everything I need. Blush was, I can zoom you back in a little bit more here because I need to show you the blush. Blush was easy for me, and I figured you would think that blush would be my hardest category because I have so many that I love. No. My Milani Rose Powder Blush in Romantic Rose. I love this blush so very much. It is the only blush in my huge collection that I have ever repurchased, and that's saying something. I love it that much. So I'm just going to take my Refi Face Duo brush. We're going to really get in there and make sure the bristles are nice and coated. And then I just like to tap off any excess into the cap. And that kind of works it further into the brush so it's evenly distributed. And then let's apply that. It's just the most soft, delicate, dainty blush I've ever used, and I love it so very much. It's perfect if you have fair skin. Of course, now this line of blushes, there's more shades than this, of course, but this shade is just, this is the lightest shade. This is number 1, and it is just so gorgeous. It's soft, it's delicate, it's everything. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. I love it so much. I go back to it every time. Like, I always try new blushes. I love to try blush. It's like one of my most favorite categories of makeup ever. But this blush, I go back to it every time. It's just a plain matte blush. There's no shifty, sparkly, shiny, anything like that. It is a plain matte blush, but it is a beautiful classic blush, in my opinion. I love it so much. Okay, the next category is exactly why I couldn't do 15. I need all 6. I need all 6. I mean, it wasn't up for discussion. I needed all 6. My Tower 28 one-liner multi-liners. Now, I know you can use these on your eyes and your cheeks and your lips. I've never used them on the eyes or the cheeks. I don't care to. I want them as lip liners. They are the most beautiful lip liners I've ever used, and I'm obsessed with them. I love them. All of them. I need all 6 shades. This is why I could not do the 15 because I needed all 6. Because I picked only one lipstick, and I feel like depending on the shade, you can manipulate the color of the lipstick. So, who do I want to pick? Honestly, any of these. All of these are beautiful. I love all of them. You can just pick one, any of them, and I obsess over them. Alright, I'm going to go with this one right here. This one is in the shade Paint My Number, and that's what that looks like. This is from one of the newer ones they launched because they had originally 3 of them, and then they released 3 more shades, and I need all the shades. No, I need them. And no, I'm not taking constructive criticism at this time. I need all 6. So we're going to line my lips with this. Oh, just look at it. Just look at it. It's stunning. I don't know what kind of witchcraft Tower 28 put in these lip liners, but they did something. Look at that. It's so pretty. The lipstick that I picked is from Lawless. This is one of their, okay, the full name is not on the lipstick itself, but it's like one of their Forget the Filler line of lipsticks, and this one is in the shade Wedding Day. Oh, the shade is so pretty. So very pretty. And because it's such a light nude, I feel like I can pair it up with any of these lip liners from Tower 28 and it will be absolutely beautiful, stunning, gorgeous. So, okay, now for lip gloss. The one lip gloss that I would love to have in my collection is from Tower 28. These are the Shine On Lip Jellies. Now, any of the shades, I just happen to have this one sitting on my little table here, but I have actually got an empty on the shade Oat. I'm so proud of that. So, this one is Iced Pistachio. Now, this one is not available anymore, but the regular pistachio shade is. This one is that shade just with sparkle in it, but I don't believe you can buy this one anymore, but it looks like that. And I feel like this is a beautiful lip combo. I think they should make these iced versions permanent. I don't think they should be limited edition. I think they should be available at all times because it's nice to have a little bit of sparkle. And there you have this completed look with these products. I love these products and they make such a beautiful face of makeup. They work every time I've used them and I love them all so very much. These are just really beautiful products that I would definitely recommend to anyone who is looking to buy something and splurge, because I realize a lot of this is high-end. Actually, almost all of it was high-end except for maybe that blush. I could totally do a drugstore version of this too, though. If you'd be interested in a drugstore version, I could totally do that. I have drugstore favorites as well that I could use. These are just my top favorites. But I can definitely do a video talking about some favorite drugstore makeup as well. The blush would still be in that video. I love that blush. Look at it. It's perfect. It's beautiful. I love it. So, oh, one more thing before I let you go. This has nothing to do with makeup, but I want to talk about it because it is a favorite. It's sitting back here. This is the best fragrance in the world. This is from Commodity. This is Milk Bold. This is the bold one because I know they have, I think, the personal and the expressive. This is the bold one. This one has the most scent throw. It's so beautiful. It is so beautiful. I got a sample of this one time from Sephora. When I tell you that I did everything in my power to get every little bit out of that teeny tiny little sample, and I bought the full size. This is a $150 fragrance. I did get it on sale. I did use a coupon. I got it for $120, which for me, I'm not a huge fragrance enthusiast. I love fragrance, but I'm not into it the way I am with makeup. Like, I love buying makeup. I love that all the time. I don't buy fragrance like that. But when I tell you that I wanted this so badly that I was willing to pay that kind of money, I would have paid the $150. It's so good. Now, it's strong. It's strong. This is the bold one. This definitely has that smoky, sweet vibe to it. It's sultry. It's so beautiful. I am so happy to have it back in my collection, I guess you can say, even though I'm just putting it back there. It deserves to be on display. I just love it. I love that fragrance so much. I got it in the mail yesterday. Actually, at the time I'm filming this, I got it in the mail yesterday, and I immediately sprayed it on myself because it just smells so good. It's so beautiful. It's beautiful. Not makeup, but I needed to mention it. But I do hope that you enjoyed today's video, and if you did, I hope you will please consider leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing if you haven't already. Make sure you hit the bell icon so you are alerted to all my future uploads, and follow me on Instagram at jessicadeerly. All of these products will be listed and linked for you below. They are affiliate links, so if you click through and purchase, I do earn a small commission, and if you choose to do so, thank you so much for supporting me and my channel, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!